The Athletic.
G'day there and welcome along to the Race F1 briefing for Thursday the 6th of June 2024. I'm James Baldwin and this is the podcast that brings you all of the big F1 headlines you need to know in 15 minutes or less. There's plenty happening off track ahead of the Canadian Grand Prix, so let's get into it. The first official look at Formula One's 2026 car rules have been revealed by the FIA, along with several new key details including dropping the drag reduction system as we know it. As expected, the next generation car will be slightly shorter and slightly narrower, with revised aerodynamic profiling from front to back to create more efficient cars with lower drag, with the aim of making it easier for them to follow each other. The reduced dimensions are part of an effort to start to reverse how bloated F1 cars have become, having ballooned in mass over the past few rule changes, most notably in the V6 turbo hybrid engine era that began in 2014. DRS, which has been used in F1 since 2011, will be replaced with an active aerodynamics on the front and rear wing to create a low drag mode, along with an MGU-K override system that will give chasing cars extra electrical energy to help them overtake. There are also changes to the front wing, side pods, and floors to build on lessons from the 2022 rules era. There are quite a few changes, so instead of trying to explain a picture via an audio medium, you can head to our website where you'll find some detailed analysis, but also some key pictures from the FIA and our comparison to the current generation of car. More details will be shared later in the Canadian Grand Prix weekend. However, the full regulations are not expected to be published until later in June, as the FIA World Motorsport Council still needs to sign off on them. Finalising the car rules means other key details will soon be locked in, such as the usage of the new manual override system that will deliver an electrical power boost at high speed. The override function will only be available at certain points on the track in defined conditions, but we still don't know how long the override function will last or how many times a driver can use it per lap or per race. The engine rules themselves have been locked in for several years. The move from around 80-20 to something closer to a 50-50 split between internal combustion engine power and electrical power from an uprated MGU-K has been the source of controversial debate about the new rules. Red Bull, which is preparing to run its own in-house F1 engine for the first time in collaboration with Ford, has been the most vocal opponent of this package. It has been argued that the sizable increase in the significance of the hybrid element will cause bizarre tactics and utilise the V6 mainly as a generator to charge the battery, with the chassis rules compromised to try and make a car workable around this. However, this has been emphatically refuted by the FIA. To the driver market now, and Red Bull will retain Sergio Perez as Max Verstappen's teammate for at least the 2025 season, ending months of speculation over his future. Lewis Hamilton's bombshell Ferrari move put the ousted Carlos Sainz on the market for next year, and his strong start to 2024, including his Australian Grand Prix win while Red Bull faltered, left team boss Christian Horner weighing up whether Red Bull needed to look outside its own driver roster for Verstappen's next teammate. With Daniel Ricciardo seemingly not impressing the team enough at Red Bull's sister team, and Honda protege Yuki Tsunoda at RB seemingly not being considered an option for the senior team, it left Sainz as the biggest threat to Perez remaining at Red Bull. Perez started 2024 strongly with a trio of second-place finishes in the first four races, but his form has since dipped at recent race weekends. But despite the lowest point of that dip being a tumultuous weekend last time out in Monaco, where a Q1 exit was followed by an opening lap shunt, albeit not really one of Perez's making, it soon emerged after the race that Red Bull had decided to recommit to him. Now Red Bull has given official confirmation of its choice, stating six-time F1 race winner Perez will remain with the team. That announcement was worded as Perez having signed until 2026, though Horner said only in the team's press release that it was an important time to confirm our lineup for 2025. That hints that Red Bull is keeping its options open for 2026 when there will be a new car and engine formula, the latter of which Red Bull itself will be tackling for the first time via its new Red Bull Powertrains division. Horner added that continuity and stability are important for the team and said Perez and Verstappen are a successful and robust partnership. The past few races have been tough. There is convergence on the grid, but we are confident in Checo and look forward to his return to proven form and performance that we so often see, said Horner. Perez is quoted as saying he was delighted to be staying here to continue our journey together and contribute to the team's great history for 2 more years. Being part of the team is an immense challenge and one that I love, he said. We have a great challenge this year, and I have full trust in the whole team that the future is bright, and I am excited to be part of it. I want to thank everyone for all of the trust they are putting in me. It is a lot, and I want to pay it back with excellent results on track and off track. I think we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot more championships to win together. Perez has been with the team since Red Bull picked him up for 2021 when they decided to drop Alex Albon after he failed to get close enough to Verstappen. Perez has assisted Verstappen to 3 consecutive drivers' titles and contributed to the last 2 Red Bull Constructors' Championship wins. Verstappen has a contract until the end of 2028, but there's been rumours of discontent with the team ever since controversy surrounding Horner kicked off earlier this year. As for Sainz, his 2025 options now appear to be picking between 2 back-of-the-grid teams, with Red Bull sticking with Perez and Mercedes still set on promoting its protege Kimi Antonelli. More on that in just a moment.
The Race F1 Briefing.
Sergio Perez's new contract means Red Bull has snubbed Carlos Sainz and left him assessing midfield options for his post-Ferrari future, with the decision likely to be made swiftly. Since finding out he would lose his Ferrari seat at the end of 2024 to Lewis Hamilton, Sainz has been waiting to see if a wild driver market would swing in his favour, especially at Red Bull, given rumours of a possible Max Verstappen exit and a recent downturn in Perez's form. Even as it recently became clear Verstappen would stay put, for 2025 at least, it was hoped that Perez's decline over the last 3 races might help Red Bull realise it needs a better teammate for its world champion. Unfortunately for Sainz, the competitive picture doesn't trump Red Bull's concern about the tensions that existed when he was teammates with Verstappen at Toro Rosso in 2015. Regardless of Sainz and Verstappen themselves getting on well, Red Bull doesn't want their fathers in the same place again, and that's where the primary Toro Rosso issues stemmed from. It also doesn't help that Sainz is quick enough to make life a little too uncomfortable for Verstappen as well, something Red Bull is not likely to publicly admit. The no from Red Bull comes as Mercedes stopped being a realistic option as well. Mercedes is very keen to promote its young F2 protege, Kimi Antonelli, straight into the works team next season, and as Antonelli is under contract, Mercedes does not need to stress making that decision. This means potentially waiting until deeper into the year to commit, and as it's highly likely Sainz's fallback options will have all but disappeared by then, he is not willing to wait that long to find out if Mercedes has a place for him, especially as it would likely only want or need him for a short-term deal. So, with Red Bull opting against Sainz and Mercedes effectively timing itself out of the equation, the gamble's not paid off. And now Sainz needs to pick between 2 options with big downsides for his F1 future, as a backward step now looks unavoidable. Sainz indicated in Monaco that things could move quickly once he knew what he wanted, which is likely a reference to there being a good contract offer from both Audi and Williams. They are the 2 teams that Sainz is understood to be choosing between, with the matter as simple as waiting to know 100% that Red Bull was off the table. The Sauber and Audi argument is obvious. It will become a works team. Audi has succeeded everywhere it has competed in motorsport, and Sainz can bank a long-term, well-paid contract with a top manufacturer. That could also lead to other interesting opportunities in the future. The fact the team is currently Sauber is hardly ideal though, and has had a very poor Monaco Grand Prix weekend that left it the only pointless team in 2024 after Williams and Alex Albon finished 9th. A timely result for that team in its bid to back up its convincing pitches to the Sainz camp with some meaningful on-track achievement. There is just enough uncertainty about Audi as a race team and a new engine manufacturer that the argument is not overwhelmingly compelling, hence Williams being seriously in the picture. It's not only about recent results and short-term prospects. Sainz needs to work out what the best fit is for him and his medium-term intentions. Now the Perez deal is 100% done. Expect Sainz to decide swiftly, bearing any late twists in an already dramatic, silly season. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you for your company today. As I mentioned earlier, there's heaps to read on our website about these new proposed regulations for 2026. So do yourself a favour and head over there. For now, though, I'm James Baldwin, and this has been the Race F1 Briefing.
The Athletic.
As you've probably heard by now, we've teamed up with BetMGM this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for our listeners each week. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code The Athletic, and you'll get a 1-year subscription to The Athletic, plus up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code The Athletic. Make your first deposit of at least $10. Place your first bet on any game and claim your voucher for a 1-year subscription to The Athletic. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help in Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code The Athletic, and you'll get a 1-year subscription to The Athletic, plus up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager.